So one question I've been getting asked quite a lot of is, how do you clean your pigeon loft? And the answer is, it's entirely dependent on what loft setup you've got, what time you have for yourself. I haven't cleaned this out in the last week or so. I normally give it a scrape out every day, but we've had the bad snow, so I haven't cleaned it out all week, which leaves me the perfect opportunity to do this video. So firstly, what we're going to need, first of all, a dirty pigeon loft. Secondly, scrapers. Now you can buy these scrapers from pigeon supply stores, £4 or £5 or something. If you don't have one of them, standard wallpaper scraper, pick them up for next to nothing. Then we need a brush. Don't have to have one, but it's better. And I like a smaller brush also for the boxes themselves. A bucket to put the dirt in. You can just use a corn bag, plastic bag, whatever's available to you. I like to use the buckets, and then I take, because I've got quite a lot of loft, I take the buckets away and empty them. A jug of loft white. You can buy this from any pigeon supplier. Basically it's a powder with sort of a floury texture, like your standard self-raising or something. That absorbs moisture off the floor, and people do put that down, brush it around, leave it. I don't. I use a standard sort of pasta sieve to shake the powder onto the floor evenly. I brush it up, and then I get rid of it, because I find the powder dehydrates the birds. These patches on the ends of the boxes, sometimes it is a good idea. I use Respiro Sand Dry. I just put it underneath them and leave it there. Not too much, I use it very sparingly. So let's get away and we'll start scraping. Right, so I'm going to take my scraper. I've done these ones already just to make sure, with it being cold, the poo's quite frozen. So all you're going to do is just literally scrape the poo off. So we'll go to this box. I'll do one or two as an example, then I'll finish the rest off, move on to the next stage, so you're not watching the whole thing, because it will get boring. So also, while you're doing this, you can be inspecting the drop-ins. You can see whether your birds need any treatments, or if they're healthy, if anything's wrong with them. This is my young bird section, and there's quite a lot of moisture in the air, so I expect the drop-ins to be slightly looser. So that's that one, and then when I'm finished, I'll just go around them all, give them a brush like so. So that's smooth now. If you haven't got loft white, it doesn't matter. That's perfectly fine. I just like to put the loft white on because it looks nice for me, basically. So we'll get on to the next box. So just scrape all the poo out at the top. Even if the boxes haven't got poo on, I still give them a scrape, just because the old powder does sink into them. The wood sort of absorbs it because of the moisture in the air. And then once I've done the top, I'll just sort of go diagonally along the top corner, that one, and then diagonal along the bottom like that, so as to get all of it. And another quick brush. That's that one done. I'll rattle the rest of these off and we'll proceed to the next stage. Right, so it's been about 10 minutes. I've given them a good going over, but that is all of the box purchase scraped, and I've given the fronts of these a quick scrape as well. These are only here for if the birds become sexually mature by the time I'm racing them, because I bred early. If you'd like, you can go over these little areas around the sides as well. Normally I don't bother, it doesn't bother me, and it certainly doesn't bother the birds, but you can go around and get everything if you want. So working from the top down, got the boxes. while I was down the bottom there, the grit tray, scraped the top of that, and I've emptied it. I've got 3 bowls in there and like an open section. The open section I put the grit in, the 3 bowls are for different minerals and stuff. At the minute I've got 2 turned upside down because I'm only going to put some black, what's it called? Ooh, black mineral powder. So the next thing, if we can find the bloody thing, you can still use your wallpaper scraper, doesn't matter, but just for me back, I've got this large one on a broom shank, and next thing's just go over the floor, and I like to do it in straight lines towards the wall, and then when I get to the end it just scoops up. Apologise, the camera's shaking, but my tripod's not big enough. So I am over exaggerating this. Normally is a lot like easier, but I'm exaggerating the movements just so you can see. And I'm just going to continue until it's all scraped up, and then we'll get on to getting rid of it. Sometimes these framework bits at the sides, I do like to get them as well. It's a good time to be checking for any holes in the floor, any damp patches, which would tell you that your roof's leaking. So basically we'll get this rattled off, then we'll move on to the next part. Right, so that's the floor scraped out, the shelves or boxes scraped, everything's shoveled up. I've gone around this framework around the side of the shed as well. Now I'm going to use this opportunity. This is what most people will miss. Use this opportunity to look for any repairs that can be carried out. Now I've just seen them out. I don't have the materials to repair it now, but these tiny little holes, I've had the boxes out. They're not behind the boxes or under them. They're under the shed. They've basically ate the way through the floor behind. So I would just cover them, such as this here. It's just a bit of cement which blocks that. I do plan on doing a more permanent repair, but at the minute this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. Don't worry if you can't get the repairs carried out immediately. I mean, you look at the state of this roof. It's one of the errors of having a metal roof. On a frosty day or a cold day, as the sun comes up and warms the inside of the outside up, you get condensation on here. Over the years this has dripped down onto this wood and it sagged it, so all the stuff that dripped off was just purely because it was hanging down. As you can see, these here, they're just sagging a little bit. What you want really is a wooden roof with some felt on, or plastic even, then the metal over the top. That'll prevent that. Also good ventilation. Next step, important step for yourself. Go and have a break, get a bloody brew down you, and once you're comfortable and you're sorted out, get yourself back over. In fact, there's that little shit there. I will kill it. Oh, it's run outside. I've just seen it under there anyway. Yep, outside. So they're coming from outside by the looks of it as well, because this is where the old home was. So the ones that have survived are trying to get back. Now through the week I have noticed 2 of them dead. I think that's because they're not warm anymore. They're struggling with the sudden freezing temperatures. So that it may be the case that, you know, they're all starving and stuff like that, but I'm taking the food away as often as I can to do everything I can. Right, I'm going to go and have a brew and a cigarette, and I'll be back to show you how to whiten the loft. And before I forget, because I don't want to be getting sued for people with bad chests or out like that, personally I don't use them. You want a dust mask. I've got this here because my partner goes absolutely berserk with us if I don't wear it. So I've got it there just to throw on. The thing he bought us, it was like a bloody spacesuit. It's got like a setting that vibrates and everything to keep all the dust out, and a massive screen in front of your face. I don't like wearing them. If my pigeons can live in that and breathe that, I wouldn't expect them to if I wasn't going to myself. So you need that, and if you've got one, a little shovel or a spade, but it's not massively necessary. I just use my scraper. The edges of a spade are rounded, whereas the scraper's flat, so you can get everything up. But yes, do not, I must stress, do not forget the mask. Right, so brew cigarette done, been to the toilet, done what I need to do. I'm all refreshed now. That little fucker, I'll get it. I'll get it. I'm thinking about, once the two newer birds are a bit older, I'm going to put some snap traps in there. I'm pig sick of these mice. I'm absolutely sick. I've destroyed their nests, I've had poisons down and everything, and the little fuckers just keep coming back. You will always have one or two, but I apologise for my language as well if you've got any kids watching. I do everything I can to refrain from swearing and stuff. Anyway, back to the subject. So, all cleaned out, I've came back in. Make sure your feet are dry, because at this stage we're going to put the powder down, and any moisture is going to be instantly sucked up into the powder. No, I apologise if the camera shakes. I do normally use two hands with this, but I kind of find a comfortable position for me to stand with the camera on one of the boxes. So, jug of loft white, like I say, any pigeon supplier. It's got like a flowery texture. In your shaker, oh, sorry about that, shake it in, right, get rid of the jug. So you've got your shaker here, start from the top and just evenly shake it out, cover as many areas, flat surfaces as you can. Sometimes it helps just to knock it off both sides, because it does start soaking the moisture in the air up almost immediately. So we're going to do that, and then you don't have to do the floor, but I like to, as you can see, it shakes on the floor anyway. I won't put it all over the floor, I'll just shake it where the droppings come straight off the shelves, just to show you. So don't need 100, but it's good to have, you know, a good bit down. The whiter the better, I think, and I'll put a bit on the top of that as well. I'll cut it out and I'll show you the brushing. Right, so this is where your little brush comes in handy. Try and make it so it's sort of soft bristled, an old dustpan and brush, and then all I've done is snap the handle off so I can use it by hand. And all I'm going to do, just circular motion all the way down, starting from the top again. So I've done that, and then that's where most people would leave it. I don't. Oh, sorry. I brush the excess powder back off, and that way the birds don't get dehydrated. I did notice their drinkers, they almost halved when I started doing this, the amount that they were drinking. So actually I'll use a better one for better light. So circular motion, and then just brush it straight off onto the floor, and then you're going to use it on the floor anyway. Circular motion, and I mean, you do it a lot quicker than this. I'm just exaggerating everything, you know, so you can see it better on the video. And what I'll do, I'll only do this half, I won't do that half, and I'll show you the difference between the two. Right, so shelves done. Apologies if you can't see this very well. So the next thing I'm going to do is the floor. And as you can see here, my footprints have had moisture, so the powder's soaked it up instantly. This is a little bit harder to get up, some ice there. But you want to be doing the same thing again. This is why I use the big brush. Nice big circular motions on the floor, and just spreading the powder everywhere. I mean, you can do it sort of straight backwards and forwards, but I don't know why it works better, but circular motions seems to whiten it more. If you're quite finicky, you don't just have to go over it once, you can go over it a couple of times, just to make sure it's all white. For instance, under the perches are a lot harder to get. Once I've done it like that, I'm just going to sweep it into a pile in the middle of the floor, put it back in my jug, and then reuse it. So these bits here, you can see them on the floor, take a little bit more to get off, and as you can see, when you brush it away, the moisture's underneath it, and got rid of it. So there it is. There's that little shit again. Hold on. I'm going to crack up with these mice soon. Right, so I'll get that finished and I'll show you the two sides. There we go, all done. So, white inside, as you can see, looks nice and clean. Few moist patches on there, but they do dry up on their own. I've took the excess powder away. But nice and white. Good for you, good for the birds. This side, scraped out, no poo there. It's pretty dry, as you can see there is moist patches where it's been sort of underneath the poo. Just as good for the birds, not as good for you. Especially this being the young bird section. I'd prefer it like that because I've got a little stool and I bring it in, and I like to sit down and hand feed the birds where possible. Spend a bit of time with them, but it's the picture says it all, you know. It's just much better if you're willing to put that sort of time in. Then it's fantastic, especially when you're at a competitive level as well. This helps keep away any moisture at all. Your loft can be as dirty as you want it, as long as it's dry. But like this, you're getting the feet are cleaner all the time. Good for the birds, isn't it? So I'll finish the loft off and then we'll look at the finished product. So, final stage. Just give your drinkers a quick clean. Now, some people use disinfectant, fairy washing up liquid or whatever. I think it's a load of bollocks. I personally don't. All I use is a bit of warm water, and I don't even do this every time. I just do it if they look a bit dirty. This is a brush I've got just for the drinkers, and then you'll see like a yellow sort of like staining on the bottom. It just comes off, and that's when I believe it's clean. So just run around there with that, and that's that done. So up that on, this one's me cloth for the drinkers. Give it a quick dry. You can scrape the top of the castle head off if you want. I do with the bars, but I don't bother usually. Now, some people, because of the immune systems, they don't even clean the lofts. They like them to build an immune system. Now, I like my loft clean because I don't like standing in loads of shade. But I do the immunity via the water, by not changing it every day. I don't use washing up liquid or anything on the drinkers unless they're absolutely terrible. And that way they're going to build their immune system, and I believe that when a pigeon's racing, it isn't going to, when it needs a drink, it's not going to land, look for a sterilised drinker or a clean drinker and drink from it. it's going to land at the nearest stream, regardless of how dirty it is. It's going to have a drink. So build their immune system up through the water. That's the way I do it anyway. So that's it done. While I was off camera, I've given the troughs a quick scrape. Nothing special, just a quick scrape. You shouldn't have to do that if you don't leave them in. I've put a little bit grit in the grit pot with a bit black mineral powder. Now that it's nice and clean, that took a little while to do, probably an hour or so. But this here, it's maybe 16 foot by 8, the pigeon section. Like the two of them together. That'll take literally 5 minutes. All I do during the week, scrape the floor. Don't powder it. Don't do anything else with it. Just scrape the floor. At least that's clean out of the way. If some of the boxes are absolutely horrendous, I'll give them a quick scrape. But it takes literally 5 minutes just before I feed them. I'll do that while I've got them out. So now that's clean anyway, I'm going to have a sit in there. I'm going to spend a little bit of time with them. I'm not going to feed them yet. In the troughs I'm going to hand feed them instead. If you haven't seen us do that before, if you go on to one of my other videos, I believe I do it while I'm trap training. And which other one? I think I might do it on my Pigeon Basics video as well. I'm not 100%. I definitely do it outside on the trap training. I lie down and I hand feed them and stuff like that. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, please just stick it in the comments, or send a message on Facebook, Rob Miles, Ascendance Lofts. I'll stick it in the description. And thank you for watching. If you'd like and subscribe, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.